Hello everyone, welcome back. Our lesson today talking about isosceles and equilateral triangle. The isosceles triangle formed from two legs and one base. The two legs are congruent, they are forming the vertex angle, and the third side is called base, and this base it has two angles, they are called base angles. The first theorem of the isosceles triangle that the two sides of the triangle, if they are congruent, then the two angles that opposite to this base they are also congruent. Then angle A is congruent to angle B. The converse of the theorem, if we have in the isosceles triangle, if we have two angles are congruent to the base angles, then the opposite sides to these two angles they also are congruent. Then the side CB is congruent to side AC. If we have angle bisector to the vertex angle, angle C, if this angle bisector is perpendicular to the base, then also is perpendicular bisector to this base. Then if CD is bisected the vertex angle and perpendicular to AB, then also is bisected the side AB. How to prove that this triangle is isosceles? Using the given of the question that xy is congruent to xz and xb is bisected the vertex angle yxz. How to prove that xy is congruent to xz using the given? Here we have that in the given xy congruent to xz and xb is bisected the angle yxz, then this is, as you see, this is given. Using this given, then we will find that according to that xb is angle bisector, then by the definition of the angle bisector that we will find angle 1 congruent to angle 2 by the definition of angle bisector. And also we have that xb is congruent to itself by reflexive property. Then we have three parts in both of the two triangles, xy congruent to xz and the angle 1 congruent to angle 2, xb congruent to itself by the reflexive property. Then the two triangles xyb and xzb they are congruent by side angle side, and also by the corresponding part of the congruent triangles that are congruent we will find that angle y congruent to angle z by CP CTC. Corresponding parts of the congruent triangles are congruent. Explain why each statement is true. How to explain that angle WVS is congruent to angle S? By looking at the triangle WVS, we will find that in the given WS is congruent to WV. Then by the converse theorem of the isosceles triangle, we will find that the base angles are congruent also. Then angle WVS congruent to angle S by the definition of the isosceles triangle or by the converse theorem of the isosceles triangle. How to prove that TR is congruent to TS? After proving in the previous step that WVS congruent to angle S and using the given that angle R congruent to angle WVS, then by the transitive property we will find that angle R congruent to angle S. Then TR congruent to TS by the converse of the isosceles theorem. How to find the value of y? How to find the measure of angle y? By looking at the triangle MLN and using the given that MN congruent to ML and the measure of angle L 63, then this is an isosceles triangle. Then the base angles are congruent, then measure of angle L equal measure of angle N equal 63. Then by looking at the triangle MON, we will find that measure of angle Y equal 180 minus the sum of the other two angles. Then measure of angle Y equal 27 degree. The corollary, the meaning of corollary is a statement that follows immediately from theorem. After studying the theorem, we will get the result of this corollary. The first corollary that if a triangle is equilateral, that means three sides are congruent, then this triangle is equiangular. That means three angles are congruent. Angle X congruent to angle Y congruent to angle Z. The second corollary, if the triangle is equiangular, that means three angles are equal, then this triangle is an equilateral. Three sides are equal. How to find the missing measures? By looking at this triangle PQR, find the measure of angle R. Using the given measure of angle Q 60 degree, and we have two sides. The side PQ equals side RQ equal 5 centimeter. By looking at this triangle, we will find then this triangle is an isosceles triangle. Then the measure of the other two angles P and R supposed to be equal. How to find their measure? By finding the interior angles of the triangle 180 degree, then measure of the two angles P and R equal 180 minus their sum equal 120 degree. By dividing both of them by 2, 120 divided by 2, you will get measure of angle P or measure of angle R equal 60 degree. How to find the length of PR? After proving that this triangle, three angles are equal, each angle equals 60 degree, then this triangle is equiangular, then also this triangle is equilateral, then all sides are equal 5 centimeter, then PR equal also 5 centimeter. In this triangle, how to find the measure of angle T? Here we have two sides are congruent, each side equals 3.5, and the measure of angle S equals 60 degree. Then this triangle is also isosceles triangle. Then the base angles are congruent. Then angle T equal angle S equals 60 degree. Then supposed to find that the third angle also equals 60 degree. Then measure of angle T here equal 60 degree. How to find the length of TS? After finding that we have three angles are equal, are congruent, then this triangle is equiangular, then this triangle is also equilateral, then the third side TS also equal 3.5 like the other two sides. How to find the value of the variable X and variable Y? By looking at this triangle, we have three sides are congruent. Then this triangle is equilateral, and also this is equiangular. Then suppose to find each angle equal 60 degree, then 3x equal 60 degree, then 3x equal 60, then by dividing by 3 we will get x equal 20. And here 2y minus 6 equal 8. Two sides are congruent, all sides are congruent. Then how to find the variable y? By moving 6 to the other side, then 2y equal 14, then by dividing by 2 we will find that y equal 7. Then the right answer is B. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.